Welcome back to our opioid awareness and educational series at Essentia Health. In previous episodes of this series, we talked about the opioid epidemic and why that's a crisis, how it's affecting people right here in our region, and how folks become addicted to opioids. Now there's actually hope. There's something called Steve's Law, and we're sitting here with Becca Kent from Essentia Health. And Becca, tell me a little bit about Steve's Law and why that's hope for ending the opioid epidemic.
Steve's Law is something that was created in Minnesota in 2014, and it was after an individual named Steve Rumler. Steve's Law was created to help protect the individual who has the overdose, as well as the person calling and seeking help for medical attention for the individual who is overdosing. And that goes in collaboration with our Good Samaritan Law. The individual can go and administer naloxone to an individual who is having an overdose without fear of being in trouble for going and giving something to someone who is unconscious, and they can't give you the permission to say, yes, I need naloxone when they're unconscious. So it protects everyone involved.
Naloxone, tell me what that is exactly.
Naloxone is a magical drug reversal agent. A lot of people have heard it as the term called Narcan, which is the nasal version, but naloxone is kind of the overall umbrella term of it because that's what was first created, and that was for intramuscular, for injecting into the skin for when an individual has an overdose with opioids or opiates. The interesting thing about it is that you or I could be sitting here right now and be given naloxone, and guess what would happen?
I don't know what.
Nothing. It does no effect to an individual who is not having an overdose with opioids. It's really amazing on that sense, because a lot of people have this notion of, oh, if you're giving out Narcan, it's going to encourage drug use, and, they think that it, because it is technically a drug, that it could, make an individual high or something like that. In all reality, it does the opposite of that, and instead of an individual being high when they're having an overdose, when it's administered to them, it makes them lose their high. And so there's this also very comical myth that a lot of people have talked about. Oh, those individuals, there's more Narcan into the community, so we're going to have these people having Narcan parties. No one who is using drugs wants to be administered Narcan because it ruins your high. It actually makes you the opposite of being high. So the money that they just spend for purchasing drugs like heroin or Percocets or something like that, the last thing they want to do is to be given Narcan unless their life is on the line, because it will sober them up like that.
Is that how you determine when to give someone Narcan if their life is on the line, or how do you know when to administer Narcan?
There's a lot of different signs. Again, it depends on what sort of substance an individual is using. One of the most common ones is an individual going unconscious, their lips turning blue, pale, shakes. Some people have said that it's like the life just goes out of them. And it's way different than when an individual is using and they're becoming high.
How is that Narcan administered, and where would somebody get Narcan? Is it something I should be carrying with me in my backpack every day?
It is actually Narcan, and we can use the term Narcan, Naloxone interchangeably. Literally, you can go and get it from your pharmacy. You don't need a prescription, but there is a standing order prescription at all the pharmacies. And so if you or I were like, hey, I want to do my part and carry, Naloxone, you can go to the pharmacy right now and say, hey, I want to get Narcan, or I want to get Naloxone, which is the injectable one. They will actually utilize your insurance if you have insurance. Individuals that are covered, through the state or different programs with assistance for health insurance. A lot of times it's free. In order to use it, the nasal is literally you open up the box, peel back the container, and you shoot it in someone's nose. That's it. And then the naloxone with the intermuscular, there's a needle and a syringe and a little vial, and you just put it in the vial, drop back, administer it into the thigh or somewhere where there's deep muscle, and that's it.
A lot of good information there as we continue with our opioid awareness and education series here at Essentia Health. Coming up in our next episode, we're going to talk about substance use disorder as well as medication-assisted treatment. Look for that right here on Lakes TV 3.